A good day, YouTube. Um, and before I forget, I never ask for this, but it's appreciated if you like and subscribe. This helps my videos end higher in the in a search when people ask for photo recovery. How do I recover photos? How do I recover corrupt photos, etc. And then talking about corrupt photos, the most common question I get by email or in the comment sections or whatever is, um, I've got this corrupt photo, can it be fixed? Or I've downloaded your tool, I've got this corrupt photo, now what do I do? And so, or the question I get asked sometimes is, what do? You get a corrupt photo, what do you do? What do you do? How do you what's your first steps? How do you come to the conclusion a photo can be repaired or not? And I can understand this because you've got these automatic tools like Stellar Photo Repair, or what's the other one? Wondershare now has a JPEG repair tool or a photo repair tool. And these are basically fire and forget. So you select your corrupt file and you click repair and it does something or it doesn't do something. And in many cases where it does not do something, you can actually repair the photo. But then you have to put in a little effort. So this is why JPEG repair may be a tad more difficult to use. Anyway, I decided to do a series of short videos where I take a picture and then I'll just show you what I do and I'll comment on it, on my thought process and stuff like that. And many of the photos I get from clients or people who are using JPEG Repair, of course, do not appreciate me using their photos. Before I do, I always ask, and some say yes, but most say no, and I can understand and appreciate that. So in this case, I'll use a example that is very much like all the cases I get that people ask me about by email, etc. And this is a case I found on Stack Exchange. Here. Not here. Here. Not here. Wait. This one. So basically, the Stacks Exchange license allows me to use this photo. If the original owner would have objections to it, then of course I will withdraw it, or I'll blur parts and stuff like that. But I'm assuming this is okay. It's out in the open there anyway. So basically what the guy says, is there a way to restore corrupted JPEGs in my situation? He copied files from camera to SDD card, he says, but I'm assuming he means SD card. He had some kind of mistake with a few files. He noticed something was wrong, he copied again, but he did not check after that. And it appeared the files became corrupted, I cannot open them. Tried multiple JPEG recovery softwares. Unfortunately, the SD card was used a lot, so recovery is not an option. This is actually a good thing, a good thought process of the person writing this, because he got original source files from SD card, from camera SD card. Oh, he tried to copy from camera SD card to a hard drive. Okay, so and then he discovered corrupt files on the hard drive. But this is a good thing, he says. He cannot recover them from the SD card. So he thought about this, because this is actually the way I would go about it. if you copy files from a source to a destination and they appear to be corrupt at the destination and maybe disappeared from the SD card, cut and paste. Then the best thing you can do is try to recover them from the SD card rather than trying to repair the corrupted files. But anyway, so he copied from SD to hard drive. Initially noticed the mistake, something went wrong, then he copied again, and then he didn't check again. Okay. He has been, recovery is not an option. He's been using JPEG Snoop, which I sometimes use. It's a very, very even useful tool. It can exactly tell you inside the image data the exact MCUs that are corrupt. And it can also be used to scan for embedded JPEGs, which he tried to do. But he found the image files inside the corrupt files did not correspond to the actual lost picture. And so he has uploaded a corrupt file and a reference file shot with the same camera to Google Drive. I've already downloaded these. These are the files. This is the reference file and this is the corrupt file. Now this is very similar to what people send me when they upload to my JPEG-Repair service, or they're trying to use JPEG-Repair and explain the situation, and then I often ask them, send me a reference file and a corrupt file, I'll see what's in there. So this is a situation that I get many times a week. So then what do I do? If I'm lazy, I'll just fire up JPEG-Repair. Continue, or you wait, okay. One thing that many of the more automatic repair tools do, like Stellars or Wondershare, is I think that's 80% of what they do actually, is try to find a complete JPEG inside a file, and and then extract that. So this is something we can try to do with JPEG-Repair as well. We select the Extract JPEG tool. We browse to where we keep these. I'm keeping it here. This is the corrupt file, and this is our reference file. So I'll select the corrupt file, okay that, and simply click Repair. Hey, what do you know? It extracted a JPEG file, a complete intact JPEG file, and we can find it here. There we have it. So did we repair the file? No, we did not yet repair the file. But there's a couple of things why I always do this. One is if I get a low resolution preview file and I cannot repair the final file, the actual file, then something is better than nothing. This is a very decent sized preview, 1620 times 1080. It's not optimal, but it's you can clearly see the picture. If this was a picture of a lost family member or whatever, or some other important event in one's life, then this is something worth having when compared to not having it at all. But there's other stuff we can see here too. What we can see is the entropy, and the entropy is calculated over the entire source file, and the entropy says it's 7.92, which is is a very JPEG-like value. So that tells me that apart from this smaller picture, which is actually just 850 kilobytes out of a 11.8 megabyte file, that the rest of the file is probably also filled with JPEG data. And what we also see is the byte histogram, which is sometimes interesting but not always. But here we a JPEG, in a JPEG, all byte values are used. 1 byte can represent a value from 0 up to 255. JPEG will use all these values, and for example, a text file will only use half of them. So seeing all those byte values used, what you cannot really see in the video probably is that the bar for 0 is actually quite high, and therefore it suppresses the other values a tad in the in this how do you call this? In this thingy, but it's not uncommon for a lot of zeros to occur in a JPEG file. So summarizing, we get to the little JPEG preview, which is very decent. Has been a good camera, a good quality camera with a large sensor size. So we get a good quality preview, and we, by looking at this entropy value, we can deduce that the rest of the data inside the source file of like 11 megabytes also contains JPEG data. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna extract. I'm gonna use the extract JPEG tool, but now this time I'm going to increase the minimum resolution that will accept. So what I'm trying to see is, based on my experience, is that when you have a corrupt file that was either copied from one media to another, or a file that was recovered, it's not uncommon for it to contain multiple parts of multiple images. What I now want to do is see if we may be able to extract a larger file from the maybe only half a file. So I'm going to this says, okay, the minimum I want to out of this file is this resolution, so it will skip the one we already have. I'm going to repair again. Okay, and now what do we see? We see it found part of a full resolution JPEG file. How many is this? 1/6 of the file? I guess so. So out of the 11 point something megabyte JPEG file we have this tiny portion of JPEG, full resolution JPEG. It's 1.64 megabytes, and we get the 850 kilobytes. So what this means is that there is still 8+ megabytes worth of JPEG data inside the file. We only get a fraction out of this file up to this point. Assuming that all these pictures from this SD card were made with the same camera, we can use a header of one of the other pictures, or even this one that we extracted from the 11 point something megabyte file. We can use that header and simply glue that on arbitrary JPEG data, and it will allow us to see if we can decode this JPEG data using this header. Okay, the person that posted on Stacks Exchange gave us a reference file. I'm going to use this one because since this one, it's my estimation that this one is more close to the file we're trying to repair. So it was either shot right before it or right after it. That's my estimation because we find this file inside this corrupt JPEG. So probably it was shot very close to the. I think you know what I mean, but I do a lousy job of explaining it. So what was I saying? Yeah. Okay. So I want to see if we can get this this remaining 8 megabytes of JPEG data, if we can get it to decode using the header of a JPEG shot with the same camera. I'm going to use this header. You can use this header as well, but it really doesn't matter. I think we have a bigger chance that this will be closer. I'm not going to explain it again. So for this we use the patch tool, and we do the same thing. This must be reset to default. We select the corrupt file, and this time we say we want to append a header to it. I OK that, then it will ask us which one? Which file contains a valid header? Well, we're going to use this one, the one that we just extracted out of the. We OK that and we click OK. So it has a little more work, and this is basically where these automatic Wondershare and Stellar JPEG-Repair tools, they will not be able to figure this out or do this kind of reasoning on their own. So this is why you need a tool that gives you more freedom. I think this is why I made this tool, but this is my. Okay, so what do we see? We see actually the 6,000 times 4,000, a good portion of the 6 times 4,000 pixel file that corresponds pretty good with the preview we have. So this is probably the original file the guy who posted on the Stacks Exchanges after. It doesn't look awesome yet because, but we can try to improve this. I double click here, I go to right to the start of the file, and then I, as we can see, this is the left side of the photo, so we need to move this to the. So I'm just gonna try this. We have two options basically. We can try pushing it to the right. This will happen. It's not something we should worry about yet. We can try pushing it to the right. Yeah, you see it put. Or we can try making it go to the left. So because I remove raw data from the 11 point something file, and since the JPEG decoder will start decoding from top to bottom, line by line, if I will remove data here, the rest will start moving towards the start of the image file. So this is what causes this vertical, this left side of the image to move that way. And this is going a bit slow, so I increase this number so that so we'll need less key presses to get where we want to be. I've overshot. Almost there. Okay, so we could settle for this. You see some corrupt data towards the bottom of the image. We can cut this off by editing the JPEG header. And by editing the JPEG header, we tell decoders or image viewers not to decode this portion of the file, so that it will not show up in the first place. If you can, you can also do this, of course, in the photo editor. You can just crop this, But if you let JPEG-Repair do it, it's always a lossless operation, because a photo editor always decodes the file, then makes changes and encodes the file again. And JPEG-Repair does not do any decoding or encoding, so it just chops off the raw data from the actual file. This does not look pretty yet, but we can copy it to the clipboard. We can open it in a photo editor. It's not really it's actually quite like the smaller preview. We can play with it a little more. I'm not really a what does it need? Maybe something like this. So I can save it, and we want to save it as a JPEG. This is the original file. I'm gonna add PDN, which is what I always do if I opened it in paint.net. And then the original file is close to 10 megabytes, so we're gonna increase quality. Okay. So, and basically that's how I would do this. So, summarizing, I tried extracting the preview, which is basically what most of these Stellar and Wondershare class tools do, and then which is better than nothing, because we got a decent sized preview. Then I try to extract a larger JPEG, like a full resolution JPEG, because of the let's call it the history of the file, the situation, where it's not uncommon, in my experience, and with a bit of luck, to find a in-text JPEG header for this full resolution file. And maybe it's only a tiny bit of the file, but we only need the header. And then we use this header and we glued that basically onto the entire corrupt 11 point something megabyte file. And we were able to extract, repair or recover, or what you want to call it, original image file. And the reason why I kept digging was the size of the file. I mean, the original corrupt file is 11.8 megabytes. So this is all information you need to consider when trying to figure out what's wrong with a file. And we had several factors. The entropy for the entire file, for this 11.8 megabyte file, was JPEG-ish. And then when we extract a tiny preview of less than a megabyte, it means we still have 10 megabytes of data inside this file we have done nothing with yet. And then if we extract a full portion of a full resolution JPEG, which is around 1.6 megabytes, we still have more than 8 megabytes inside this file we did not do anything with. So then I keep digging. Okay, so let's see what we get when we use this header and we glue that onto the 11 megabyte corrupt file. So I hope this helps someone someday. Like and subscribe, and I'll try picking some more examples of photos I received, and I'll also do one that I couldn't do nothing with, because that happens as well. I mean, plenty of people delete JPEGs from their SD drives, recover them, and that seems to be okay. The undelete software sees the file and recovers the file, and then when they try to open it, nothing happens. You get this unsupported format blah 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 message, and that's simply because the file is filled with zeros. So there's plenty of situations where you cannot do anything. But then also JPEG-Repair will help you determine why you cannot do it, because you would get a file with zero entropy. That means you can never repair that, because that's not JPEG data. Okay. I hope to post one soon, and hope to see you soon again. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.